Are royal ladies required to wear high heels? Not just any high heels, but maybe 4 to 5 inch heels. This is almost what you could say Meghan Markle infers on her most recent podcast, talking about how she was teetering around on 5 inch heels while massively pregnant with her unborn son and needed to desperately cling to her husband because that was the only thing keeping her upright. And of course, some people have come to the conclusion that somehow it is a requirement for her to wear those style heels. Well, I'm here to tell you guys that that is 100% not the case. And we are going to dive a little bit into the relationship between royal ladies and heels today, because this is Royal Fashion News, the place for all those who have a passion for royal fashion. In addition to all the passion for royal fashion I have a passion for shoes, and I love seeing what the royal ladies are wearing. So you have to say that this little conversation piqued my interest. And I have a secondary thing as well that really started my brain churning when it came to Meghan Markle talking with the founder of Spanx about wearing these massive heels, which is that I broke my foot many years ago. And for me, wearing heels is something that I think a lot about because of stability issues, fears of falling, so many different things that to me, that if I was carrying a child and I didn't feel totally safe in heels without clinging to my husband, well, I wouldn't be wearing the heels because I would put the safety of my unborn child and myself above the need for vanity. But clearly, that is not the case with Meghan Markle. So, we are going to listen to a little bit of this podcast. And I will add a caveat that maybe we're reading too much into this. But it was just something where as I was listening to her, I was like, really? Really? It was more important for you to wear the huge heels than it was for you to be able to walk safely? I don't think, at least for me, that would not be my biggest concern. And unfortunately, as well, what Meghan Markle has said has led some to believe that it is a requirement for royal women to wear heels that high. And again, that is not the case. And we have plenty of examples of royal women who do choose lower heels. So let's listen to a little bit of the podcast, and we'll, I think, pause about halfway through for just copyright reasons and those sorts of things. So let's listen to what Meghan has to say. So we are an Apple podcast.
A friend just said to me the other day when they were like, I just saw this picture I'd forgotten about when you were so pregnant with Archie. I mean, I gained 65 pounds with both pregnancies.
Oh my God, you're so tiny.
And you're in these 5 inch, I always just wear my 5 inch pointy toed stilettos.
So Meghan Markle decided to always wear 5 inch pointy toed stilettos. And so let's take a look at what something like that actually looks like. Which in this case, we shall use the example of these Christian Dior pumps, which are actually, I believe, about the same style that Meghan wore in Morocco. And as you can tell, the heel here is quite tiny. There is a little bit of a wider edge here, but this is very, very narrow, small. I mean, I would argue not a lot of stability to be found here. Now, I got these from the Real, so these are definitely 100% used. You can actually, at least with one of them, see a lot of damage on the back. It's maybe not this one. You can actually see a little damage on the front here. So these are definitely not perfect by any means, but I wanted to get these as an example because I wanted to do, again, a whole comfort shoe thing about it. Sorry, I'm trying to get myself out of focus. And I see something like these, and it's like, so, I mean, obviously you can choose to wear these if you want to, but sometimes it's more important, I think, to think of your safety and the safety of your child over needing to wear these kind of heels. Of course, you can choose vanity, but isn't safety the graver concern here? So let's keep on listening.
You're like, you have the most enormous bump, and your tiny little ankles are bracing themselves in these high heels, but all of my weight was in the front.
Right.
So you're just going, how on earth? Like people,
How on earth?
how on earth am I not just tipping, face planting?
So she admits here that how is she not face planting? She has very narrow ankles and stuff. And I know so many people want to talk about the pregnancy conspiracies and everything. I'm not interested in discussing that at all. But she does have very thin limbs, and you could say that there's not a lot of support and weight there. So why again would you risk it?
Like I'm clinging very closely to my husband.
Please don't let me fall. Yeah.
So that's most of the bit there. So, clinging to my husband, please don't let me fall. If you're so worried about falling that you need to cling to him, why are you wearing those shoes? Why are you wearing those shoes? That could potentially result in a tripping incident or could potentially leave you unsteady on your feet. You're very pregnant. You're carrying more weight than you usually do. So that can mean you're off balance and you're not as comfortable with it as you used to be. So wouldn't it make more sense to go with something, let's say a flat kitten heel, something like that, over a massive stiletto? It's just a matter of simple safety. And it, I think, reveals a lot about Megan because, yes, I love my shoes, guys. I really do love my shoes. I was even window shopping again on the Real Real for shoes today. But I always think so much about when I wear heels because for me, at least, I have a broken foot, or at least it was broken a long time ago. And I have two screws in there. I even now have a bone spur. So this is like additional, like, bone material that's built up over one of the surgical sites because of this particular break. And so when I wear heels, I feel unsteady. So I think a lot about when I wear my heels and how long I wear my heels and where I wear my heels to. So, for example, I would try to maybe wear something like this a bit more to church. I would love to wear something a bit more like this to church because it's the only time I can do it. But I do have to walk a fair amount. I do actually have to walk sometimes over grass and gravel if I don't get there on time to get a parking spot. So that means I would have to walk on an uneven surface with a shoe like this, which I can almost guarantee you is not probably the smartest idea. So I don't generally wear this shoe to church or really anywhere. Sometimes I would bring it when I used to go into an office. I would bring it into the office, but with a pair of flats I could change into. And this is actually a popular style Megan really likes. I had mixed feelings about it, but I do honestly like this little raffia kind of style here. I think that's actually really cute. But Megan would wear these kind of things while pregnant. And I can tell you as well, because of this kind of extra space back here and stuff like that, I feel like you're less stable because there's not as much holding on to you. So if I was go to church, I would wear something more like this. Yes, these are Louis Vuitton shoes I got from the Outnet on sale, which was awesome. And they are like these cute little Mary Jane heels. You can tell I've worn them. You can see the bottom too. And they're nice because they're a good heel height. They're thick and they're sort of, you could say, perfect to wear around various places. And I did wear into a wedding. My feet did start to hurt, but they were still, let's say, comfortable and stable. But while pregnant, Megan chose to walk around in something like this. If you've never seen these are the Stuart Weitzman. They've come out with sort of newer styles and shorter heels and everything on these. And these are the nudist heel because, guys, there is nothing here. The only thing holding you together is this little toe strap down here and this little thing up here. It's nothing. Like, I don't even know if for show I could wear these more than like 10 feet because there's nothing to them. Now, imagine Megan wore these style shoes to, I think it was a Royal Variety Show or Cirque du Soleil, something like that, in a gown. So she's wearing a long gown, huge heels like this, heels that do not offer a lot of support and stability. And then is like, oh, I just needed to get desperately cling to my husband. Like, but don't wear shoes like this. Don't wear shoes like this. And so, what does it mean for the rest of the royals? What are sort of the general rules for royalty? I mean, to be honest, there's actually not that much. There are literally no rules that say you must choose this over this. There's no rule that exists like that. No stinking rule that says that it's more important for you to wear these kind of heels than these kind of heels. That was a Meghan Markle personal choice. And the reason that sort of matters and why this is important to discuss is because some people think that this is part of royal dress code. The royal dress code, at least when it comes to shoes, is, as far as I'm aware, just very vague. The only thing Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth did not like were wedges. She didn't care for wedges. I don't think she particularly cared for like espadrille style shoes. She preferred cord shoes, which is a simple pump. It could be as low as 2 inches. 1 or 2, 3 inches. I don't think she was real particular about shoes. And of course, royals have continued with that tradition. And from the many, many royals that I watch, and definitely, guys, I'm always looking at the shoes. I can tell you that. I can say that most of them wear this. They wear Gianvito Rossi pumps. These are the most popular, I would say, royal shoe brand out there. Catherine has a bunch of these. So does Queen Mary, Queen Maxima, Crown Princess Victoria. Several other royals have these shoes. These are the most popular royal shoes out there. And yeah, they're tall. And yeah, I've even tried them on. They're not particularly comfortable. But that height is a personal decision. You can go lower. There are, instead of 105 millimeters, which is what that one is, there are 80 millimeter pairs, and or maybe 85. So that's a bit of a lower heel. Still gives you the height, but not quite as much of the strain as a high heel. And some royals, I know Princess Sophia of Sweden, it's been a while since we've seen her. She's been out after giving birth to her fourth child. She tended to move towards sort of orthotic heels. She had a particular brand that was very much focused on orthotics that she would wear. And Queen Letizia of Spain has had many, many issues with her feet recently. She's had Morton's neuroma, which has been severely damaging to her feet. So she actually does not wear high heels at all anymore. Pretty much she wears kitten heels or flats or sometimes sort of thick loafers. And if it was something where sort of view you could say was an issue, is that her husband is 6'5". So he towers over her. So definitely with her going down to even lower heel, he really, really towers over her now. And I'm sure maybe that was part of Meghan's issue, is that Harry is so much taller than she is, and she really didn't want to be there and be so much shorter than him. But again, why is that more important than something like safety? And there's 100% always a factor there. No royal family will ever say, oh, you must wear these high heels, even if it's uncomfortable for you, even if you're having feet issues. Like Queen Letizia also broke one of her toes last year, I believe it was. And so she's had a lot of challenges dealing with these sort of breaks and setbacks she's had with the health of her feet. And so she doesn't wear heels because of that reason. Catherine has adopted a unique shoe style, I would say, this year, is that she tends to sort of wear the same shoe for several engagements in a row. And then she'll switch out to another one. She's been wearing her Celia pumps from Ralph Lauren quite a lot. And of course, it has to do with how the shoes are broken in, how safe they feel in them. And again, there is absolutely no stipulation whatsoever that it's more important for you to be as tall as you can be and risk tripping than it is for you to wear something shorter and avoid the possibility of catastrophe. Nobody wants anybody to fall at all. And this might, of course, be making a bit of a mountain out of a molehill. I know some people will claim that, but Meghan, the way she does things, it's sort of, you could say, tries to do little swipes at the royal family as she can. And so it's, I think, really important to kind of clarify what is true and what is false. And when it comes to shoes, if Meghan wanted to teeter around on 5-inch heels because it made her feel better, I mean, that's her right. But I don't think there's really any excuse for putting her own vanity, over the safety of her unborn child. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think any other royal lady would do the same. Although I do watch them walk around sometimes, like on uneven surfaces with the kids. And I wonder, how do they do that? Actually, one of the things that I was most concerned about when Catherine and William arrived in Canada, like in 2016 with the kids, is as Catherine was walking down the stairs holding Charlotte, all of a sudden George wanted to hold her hand too. And I'm watching her walk down the stairs, these metal stairs in these high heels, with holding her son's hand, holding her daughter in the other arm. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dear Lord, please don't let her trip. Please don't let her trip. Please don't let her trip. I was like terrified. And so I do think sometimes royal ladies probably delve a bit too much into the heels when maybe they should choose something else. And honestly, I think William or Catherine should have told George, hey, safer to let mama walk without you holding on to her while she's walking down heels, holding your sister off an airplane. Probably the best to avoid that. Although it was very sweet for her to do it, but I was terrified watching her walk down those stairs. So there's definitely other times where royal women have maybe decided to go with a higher heel or situations where they should have chosen something different. Although I don't think Catherine planned on George really insisting on holding her hand, and she just wanted to be a good mom. Can't fault her for that. But there is no rule out there that ever says a royal woman has to wear a 5-inch heel. That was a Meghan Markle vanity, I need to be tall thing. The rest of the royals, they're perfectly fine in the shorter heels as necessary. Some still enjoy them. I think sometimes Maxima enjoys the platforms just a little bit too much. But I really do hope all the royal ladies stay safe. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this video and this topic because I love talking about royals and royal fashion and sort of trying to correct some of the narrative Meghan Markle has given because it's not all accurate. So, it's good to go over these details. But, guys, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again soon. Bye.